everybody. It's, I think, a couple of days later. I don't know if I taped it all yesterday. And we've got Agita there, we've got one of the boys there, we've got the other boy there, and all three fellows were on the deck, but they're not right now. And I fed them, and it's about 6 degrees. It's not too warm, but it's pleasant. So they're outside. And now the big news is that yesterday I had a problem with the dryer, and I might have said that already. So the guy came, and the second guy, the first guy, all kinds of issues, but the second guy was very, very good, and he came yesterday, much earlier than the other people and stuff, and he fixed it. So very nicely done. It cost a little bit of money, but a lot less than buying a new dryer. So while I was at that, I said I might as well, because my old garage door opener was completely broken. The chain was hanging down. It was broken. It was like from 2001. So it was 24 years old. So I'm not surprised. So I called, and I had the number from the last time people had installed it. It was 24 years ago. They'd left a sticker on the door. So I called that number, and the people came and installed a very nice belt-driven. It's not a chain, belt-driven. And I got 2 remote controls, for the 2 cars, even though only 1 car fits. It's very quiet. The light comes on, and if you press it, it goes back up, So I don't have to people. So I did all of that, and I got a fairly good price, Yeah. So now I'm going to put the cars in, put the little car in, and work on journal entries, and have some lunch, and see if I can do some writing. There have been pulls. That's the other news. There have been fairly strong pulls. Oh look, there's 2 of them. There's Peanut and Jill there. Bcee, I saw her a minute ago. She likes to sleep in those leaves there, but she may be under the deck or in the bush, or doing feral stuff. And that Peanut, Jill doesn't under the they eat most of the food, So that's what's been happening. As I said, strong pulls, but number 1, all 6 kids to look after, and it was cold for a couple of days, so keeping the heated shelters on. I've turned them on for now because it's not that cold today. I'll turn them on later in the evening. And then these little things, the ordinary world, household stuff. And hello everybody. I don't think I've taped at all today. I might have taped yesterday, but I've been doing some writing, sort of about hot stuff. Last binge, so kind of a little crippling, but I've been balancing it out with looking after the kids, the usual stuff. Yesterday I went out for drinks, wings, and or not wings, but food at Chuck's. I had a veggie burger. But today I came out because it's a wing night here, and this is the other side of town. This is closer to where my previous house was, at least on that side. And I'm having the wings and a couple of beers, and it's wings. Everybody, I'm not sure when I last taped, but it's now the next day after I went for wings and beer, which I seem to do every day. But yesterday I did some writing. I went to a place other side of town, had a couple of beers and some wings. Came back. I'd already fed the kids and ferals, and I just checked on the ferals and settled in here with the kids for the night. So we've got Agita there. It's the next day, and we've got one of the boys, probably Finn, there. Boy, probably Lcee, but it could be that we were out. Actually, this might be Finn. It's looking a little bigger. So, Finn, that one's Lcee. And I fed the ferals already. I fed the kids. And I saw all 3 ferals. I think Peanut has gone back into... Oh, look. We had Jill eating. A little while ago, we had Bcee eating. Jill was really... Peanut was really hungry today and ate most of the fruits. I opened another can. And there's Jill, eating. And I put some on the side as well in the other bowl. So the big news is that my first ever online shopping and delivery, not actually Amazon, but Marketplace, Walmart. And I have bought from them before a couple of times online, but I went to pick the items up. I think the new cat shelter and snowblowers earlier in the year. So I went and actually picked them up, curbside pickup at Walmart. But these ones said delivery only. So I think there is an option for this to come pick up. But I said, if other stuff is being delivered, why do I need to go to the store? And there's no extra charge for delivery. So that's an air fryer. I have no clue how to use it. I've never used one. I've never seen anyone use one. I know my neighbors have one, I don't know if I have installed the handle properly, but it's in the pictures. Oops. In the pictures, it seems to be all the way down, but it's not going all the way down. So I looked at the instructions. It doesn't really say anything about attaching the handle. That's the only thing I had to assemble, and I'm not sure I've done it right. But it was very, very cheap price, very reasonable. So I couldn't resist. I was looking at the Walmart, and as I said to my friend, who loves online shopping in the other province, this is like a new addiction, better than other addictions, But then I bought a couple of can openers. I didn't have one. I haven't been buying cans, except, cat food cans are all pop-up anyway. Don't need opener. And I couldn't buy regular cans. I bought a couple of soup cans, but they were the ones with the pop-up. I had to keep checking, make sure that you could open them without a can opener. Now I have a can opener, and then I got a second can opener. It was on a very reduced price as well, but it's fancier. It's a different style. You put it on top of the can, and that's supposed to come on Monday. So I did a whole bunch of online shopping. Well, for me, 3 items. And this one arrived this morning, just on the porch. They just put the box on the porch, and they texted me saying it's arrived, with a picture. And then, it was in the box, not wrapped or anything in brown paper. You could see it was an air fryer. But I was home. I just grabbed it. Fancier than I thought. I thought this thing opened and there'd be like knobs to turn or something. No, you plug it in and it's still like, digital whatever, it's touch screen. All that for like $70. I had some of these tater totter thingies in the freezer. I just put them in for 8 minutes. There's no real instructions in the thing, but I looked it up online. Let's see if they're actually cooked. What is the next day? And he just fed the ferals and fed the cats. Every time she sees a brother come within 2 feet, there's growling. There was louder growling a minute ago because he was trying to come through here, and she thought that was too close. But because I was talking, kind of distracted her, he sneaked through. So this is what our family dynamics are like. Yesterday, I don't even remember now. I think I just stayed home all day. Worked on journals, and there were fairly strong pulls, but I dealt with them. And I was very pleased that Peanut has started using the new shelter. So the flap accidentally closed. There's a back entrance to it. So I taped up the flap. She was using the other shelter when I came back from shopping. And I went shopping. I had some, Dairy Queen chicken fingers, not very good, for lunch. And I did some shopping, Sobeys and, no frills and all of that stuff. Stuff for the air fryer, really, for frozen veggie hot dogs and salmon burgers and stuff like that. Things that I read can be done easily in a air fryer. So, but I don't really feel like eating at home today. There have been pulls, but it's been okay. I was busy shopping. I worked on journal entries, and I did some pasting into the other, about the pulls and stuff. And thoughts, but I didn't do any fresh narrative in the quote story unquote about the latest binge. So and I fed the ferals and fed the kids, and now I'm thinking of just going. It's become my routine. Usually after doing some kind of hot riding, which I didn't do much today, but still, it's I'm dealing with pulls. So I might go out for a couple of drinks. And a couple of beers, so we'll see. After. Hello, everybody. I'm here at the bar that I went to on Thursday night, and I'm having the perch. Is their specialty? It comes from the lake here, from Lake Erie. And the other night I had wings. So I'm having a couple of beers, and I'm just sitting here by myself. And these 2 gentlemen were at the bar, and they'd been talking, and one of them, stopped to talk to me, and then introduced himself and introduced his friend, and his friend's a widower, and just asked, do I live in the area? And I said, no, I live on the other side of town, and explained the whole situation and how I had the cottage and then this. And we're just talking, and they're like going, oh, we're keeping you from your supper. And this is why I live out here in the country, and because, I mean, there are disadvantages. You don't have the art gallery and, the movies and the stuff that I like in the big city. But he actually, one of the two gentlemen, he has a house just up the road, and he has a collection of clocks, and he invited me. He said, when you finish on your way back, when you finish your food, stop in and have a beer. Now, that would not happen in Toronto. And we hadn't even talked at the bar or anything. I'm just sitting here eating my food, drinking my beer, and on their way out, they stopped to talk to me and invited me to have a beer. Now, how amazing is that? And what a difference. What a difference from the city. Bye for now. I'll let you know how it goes, but I got, I'll finish this beer. Everybody, it's a couple of days later, and Agita's nicely settled there. She's kind of taken over the perch that the boys like, and she had a little trouble getting off it. She got on it, but then it looked a little steep, and I put that thing there so she can kind of use it as a step. But she likes that, so let her sit there. And boys and myself are in the patio. It's about 7-8 degrees outside, so a little coolish for us indoor cats. But we're sitting here with the heaters on, and Peanut is using the new shelter. It's a little warmer. It's got you can adjust the temperature. I've got it set at 6. But she still seems to prefer it to the other ones, and it's got a reflective kind of insulation material inside, so I think it's warmer than the other is, even if you don't have it at a maximum, temperature. So she's kind of claimed it, and she likes the space. And the other two, they're happy with the older ones. They sleep separately in the older ones, and she sleeps in that in the day as well. She really likes it. So I'm like, fine. If you want it to yourself, absolutely welcome to it. She gets more space. It's warmer. But when it gets really cold, maybe the other two will discover it's warmer and there's space in there for them. But for now, it's working out nicely. Now, there was quite a bit to report. But I've just been distracted and busy and, soda control burning and also doing a little bit of writing. So, and journal entries, looking after the kids, of course, the biggest wishes of all. There have been polls. My neighbors are out of town. They kind of keep an eye on me. So I'm like, oh, I could go party. People are going to notice if I come in really late and ask. But they worry about me. So I'm like, okay. My neighbor said, try to behave while we're out of town. So, but I think the last time I actually taped was a couple of nights ago. I did some writing in the day, and I went out for perch and fries and a couple of beers, other side of town, because I'd been to that bar and I kind of liked it. And that's when a couple of guys just sitting at the bar were leaving, and they stopped to talk to me. And one of them invited me they were having a little, get-together, guys, watching sports. My friend out of province is like going, that's so unlike you. And I said, they invited, and, it was something a little different, a little discretion. So I went over. I picked up a bottle of wine, even though he said, don't bring anything, we have beer. But, I'm going to somebody's house for the first time, and and I still can't get over the fact you can buy wine, beer in corner stores, So I picked up a bottle of wine, went there. It's a massive house. He's an interesting guy. I mean, sort of a wealthy eccentric, and he has a particular collection, but I'm not going to talk about it because that's, I don't want to reveal anything in terms of privacy of other people. But, I like the fact that he's passionate about something. He's got one of the best collections of a particular thing in Ontario, if not Canada. So, and he's really proud of showing that off. So it reminds me a little bit of my father, except my father's collection isn't that level, and it's very mixed. the crustal, and they're all children, and it's not really worth a lot. It's just, sentimental value. So it was interesting. I had a beer, talked to, political views of his friends, very right wing. But kind of to be expected out here. So, but other than that, it was kind of the opposite. It was the opposite of my it's the local version of partying, but just with the beer and booze and sitting and watching sports. So and then yesterday I did some riding. I fed the kids, fed the girls, did some riding, and then went out for beer and wings again. There was a special at the place nearby. So I just went to the nearby place, not beer, wings and Caesars, the Sunday special. So I had 3 or 4 Caesars, and it's very nearby. So and then came back and spent some time with the kids and went to bed. So today, fed the girls, fed the kids, did all of that. It's it's about 7-8 degrees. But it got cold at night. It was like -2, -3, and Peanut was using the new shelter, and the other 2 were using the other shelters. So that's what's been happening. And there have been polls. But there are so few, actually no options in town for my brand of Slither Party. So there's actually no options, and I would really rather stay clear. And the other thing that's keeping me going, in addition to the usual pushes, is that just 1 week from today, I can gamble again. It's later in the evening, and we've got one of the boys. This is Lcee, there, cuddled next to me, the bed. And we've got the other boy there, and that's Finn, eating dry food. And we've got Agita there on the perch that one of the boys usually sits on, usually Finn, sometimes Lcee. While Agita is here on the bed on the corner. But she's decided to take over the perch. But it works out very nicely because she's facing that way, so she's pretending that she's not seeing her brothers or me. And when Finn is here, when Lcee is here like this, and Agita's in the corner, she allows it for a while, and then she realizes, and she sees him, and then she chases him off. This way, she's facing that way, so we have a really nice family time. She's there, facing that way. This is a much better system. Both the boys on the bed with me, and Agita with there. Everybody's comfortable. Bye for now, and I'm reading. Agita taking over that thing has made it more comfortable for the boys and myself. We're all on the bed here. And I'm reading. Hello, everybody. I've got both the boys here. Agita there. It's about 1 o'clock, and I did get up very early, and I went out to check on the ferals and had to replug in the shelter because it's on a timer thing, the new one. And there were pulls. There were pulls this morning, pretty strong, but I made it. Exactly 1 week till I can gamble again. Counting the days now. So I just spent some time with the kids. I had some pierogies under the air fryer. Didn't come out that well. And I'm just resting, and I'm going to try to get back to some writing and journals and writing and stuff like that. And hello, everybody. It's later in the day, and I did some writing. I fed the kids. I fed the girls. I walked over here to the wings of the beer place bar. It's a block, and it's not all that cold. It's about 8-9 degrees. Very big, yeah. I'm going to have a smaller one. These wings are not really wings. They call them wings, boneless wings. They're chicken bites, white meat, breaded, and it's really quite hot. So it's good. I'm just sitting here. I did some more writing today. It's kind of fairly hot stuff, so kind of triggering, but it really helps that there are no options here. That's all I have to say. But I fed the kids, I fed the girl, Peanut inside her new shelter. She loves it. Okay. Everybody, it's the next day. I fed the kids, I fed the ferals. It's quite windy out there. So the door to the shed was kind of blowing open, so I tried to put some bricks. But everything's good. I came out to have lunch, and I had to pay a bill to pay for the garage door, so a garage door opener. So I came here paid the bill. Their office is nearby, and right by the Thai place. So I said, oh, I haven't had Thai lunch in a long time, so I came here for green curry shrimp and soup and a Caesar. I drink a lot of Caesars these days. And then I'm going to go back kids and try to do some writing. Later in the day, and I'm reading. I fed the kids, fed the girls. It was very windy out. So I tried to prop open the shed door with extra bricks, and Peanut went into one of the older shelters after eating, and the other two were on the deck. I hope they're in the shed now, but I will go and check. In the thing, I had to reset it because of the timer and all that. So I think it's good for 8 hours. Yeah. So, it was very cold at night. She did use that during some of the night. I didn't see Bcee because it was really storming in terms of high winds and stuff. So I think Bcee was hiding under the deck. It's kind of over there somewhere, kind of maybe less wind noise or something. I saw Jill. She came to the deck and then she, I think, went to the shed. In the morning, I saw all three in the shed, so I felt relaxed, And Jill came to have some dry food. There have been strong pulls. That's the other news. There have been very strong pulls, but it's okay. My neighbors are coming back tomorrow. I get to gamble again in 4 days. But, making it this week with my neighbors away, who kind of keep an eye on me, it was tough, And I did do the drinking. And I also did quite a bit of fairly hot writing. So I think that's the other thing. But I made it. It's now later in the day. I fed the kids. I fed the ferals. I spent some time with the kids. And went and got the prescription for Peanut's antibiotics, and I worked more on the writing. I pretty much finished the manuscript, the story, whatever you want to call it, about the latest binge. It was a bit difficult to write because it's very kind of triggering material because I'm in a particular state and I'm writing about it while I'm sober, so it's it's a little difficult. But I think I've got the basic outline there. Now I can just tweak and still not intending on publishing, just writing for myself, but it's something I needed to get down. So and now I can kind of go back over it and look at different angles and overstand it, as somebody once said to me. So that's what's happening, and all three kids, both the boys there, Agita there on our new favorite spot, and I'm just going to make a very quick journal entry. I'm going to feed the kids, going to feed the ferals, and I may as well go out for wings and a couple of beers. Good morning, everybody. We got one of the boys there. This is Lcee. I've got the other boy there. That's Finn. Maybe the other way around. So then we've got Agita there on her new favorite perch, which is taken over from the boys, though she did spend the night on the bed. The news is yesterday I did some writing, I think I mentioned that, and then went out for a couple of beers, and I had pierogies instead of wings, and came back. I'd already fed the kids, already fed the ferals, just went to bed. And got up at 5 o'clock in the morning to reset the timer on the shelter for Peanut, the new shelter. You can't just turn it on and leave it on. You have to keep resetting it every 8 hours. You can set it for 2 hours, 4 hours, or 8 hours. So I set it for 8 hours at about 10 o'clock. And I happened to get up at 5 anyway. I had to go to the washroom and give the kids some treats and stuff. So I went out, and Peanut was in the new shelter. Bcee was one of the old shelters, and Jill was in one of the old shelters, but she came out to the deck, which she always does when I go to check on them. And I just reset it, gave them some fresh dry food and water, and then came back in and spent time with the kids. And both of the boys settled on the bed with me for a while because Agita settled there. So that's what's happening, and I did something else. At 6 o'clock in the morning, I ordered a sofa chair thing, sort of a bed chair. It's more of a chair than a sofa, but it turns into a bed. And I ordered it online, this company that does online furniture. and it was a very, very good price. It's supposed to come with the Black Friday price. It's supposedly 53% off, and I need a comfortable chair for the living room. So I bought that. So I started my Black Friday shopping, and that's the plan for today. I'm gonna feed the kids, feed the ferals, give Peanut some antibiotics. I picked it up yesterday, and then I want to go do some shopping for the kids. Maybe another cat condo. How many have we got? But we'll see, and some cat food for sure, and maybe some stuff for Canadian Tire. So do some Black Friday shopping and have some lunch and then come back. So, and my neighbors get back today, so I'm kind of excited about that, And I have made it clear. I was a little worried. I mean, in the week that my neighbors were away, they know that I binge and that I slither, and I tell them when I do. Yeah, but and they know that I struggle. But just having them here kind of helps because they keep an eye on me. Everybody, it's Black Friday, and I've come out Black Friday shopping. So I went to Canadian Tire, and I bought a few things like light bulbs on sale and extension cords and stuff like that, the sort of household things, and cutlery. I didn't have any cutlery in the house. Using one fork and one spoon, but that's really what I need. So I got some cutlery and some stuff like that, and then I went to Giant Tiger and I bought another, cat bed because it was still on sale, and a couple of t-shirts for myself. There was no real Black Friday sale there. It was just regular prices, but they're all really cheap anyway, so I did some shopping there. And then I've come here. This place is near the casino where I'm still not allowed to go till Tuesday, but they have I'm having a lobster toast cheese, grilled cheese with a glass of wine because celebrate Black Friday and the fact that I'm still clear. It was sort of a tough week at times, but I made it. So a little wine and lobster. Bye for now. And then I got Pet Value, Pet Smart, and back to the kids. Bye for now. I'm back home. I did a bunch of Black Friday shopping. I got one of these for the boys, and we've got so many colors. So there's another lower one that goes near the bed. This one, and Agita sort of claimed this one. The taller one, which the boys used to like. So we've got that, and then we've got the flower one. I got a similar one for Jack next door last year for solstice, but we had so many condos here that I didn't get one for the kids. I think I bought those other types. But I'm like, okay, this was on sale today, 40% off, so I got this one as well. It's low, so it goes near the bed. So, if she wants to sleep, if Agita wants to sleep on that, then the boys can sleep either on the bed with me or on one of the low, maybe put it there. I'll figure it out, So I did that. And, of course, Agita has come to claim it as well. And this is more of the, I got of the shopping for Black Friday. I get from Canadian Tire, I got that cutting board. I have one like it already. It was on sale. And then I got a whole bunch of light bulbs that we need. And cutlery. And from another one of those light bulbs, power bar thing, and then some shirts and things for myself from these slipper cloth thingies. But they're warmer, so if I need to go outside, feed the ferals and stuff. And that was a Giant Tiger, not on sale, the regular price, but cheap anyway, like $12. So that was my shopping for, and then some cans of just a few cans. They didn't have diet at the Pet Value place. So that's my shopping for Black Friday. PetSmart, I'm not going to get another condo. They've got more than enough. Yeah, so I'm just getting lots and lots of food. That's what's happening. This is our Black Friday shopping for the kids. And some of it for the ferals too, the treats and the cans of Friskies and some of the sachets. They like those, so the ferals like them as well. So, good morning, everybody. It's the day after Black Friday, and I did a whole bunch of shopping yesterday, and we've got Agita settled there. I put the boys there, they're bird watching because they're birds. For some reason today they want to, alight on that bush just outside the window. So we got that going on. I got up early, went out and had to reset the shelter timer because the new shelter is on the timer. You can't leave it on all the time. So I just set it for another 8 hours. Peanut is using the new shelter, and I think Jill is as well, though she ran out of the shed when I went out. And Bcee is using the older one, and it's quite cold out there. But so this was happening. Gonna get up, feed the kids. I did buy all those new that perch. That kind of. I think this one's a little deep, but I'm going to try to get them to putting treats on them so that they start getting used to the new perches. So that one, look at its tail, and the booties are right on that thing there. So everybody, I'm feeding the ferals. It's quite cold, 0, -1, and Peanut just wanted to stay in her bed, and I had to give her the antibiotic. So I put some of the antibiotic in the food, and I put it in the shelter. She ate a bit, and then she came out, and then she ate a little bit there. She wants to stay in the shelter. I might put it back into the shelter. And then the other two, I put their food as usual here. It's later in the day. I'm just lying here reading, worked on journal entries, emailed with a friend, and look, Agita is nicely settled there, and both the boys. This one's purring on the bed because Agita is allowing it. I'm not using the new perches, but it doesn't matter. We got a lot of perches, and I prefer having them on the bed anyway. A little later, I'll go feed the ferals and feed the kids, and the plan is just to stay in and read. Bye for now. It doesn't actually get any better than this. And hopefully the ferals nicely settled in the shed. It's cold, it's snowing, but I've got the timer on the new shelter. The other ones are on as well. I'm just lying here reading. Good morning, everybody. It's the next day. We've got Agita nicely settled on her favorite perch there. We've got one of the boys, Lcee, eating dry food. He was just here cuddling with Finn, who's also getting up now. Just moved a little further down because Agita has claimed perch that allows the boys to cuddle with me in the bed. Not all the time, but in the mornings. And it actually got up quite early this morning. So yesterday, I stayed in with the kids. Did some reading, worked on journals, fed the kids, fed the ferals, went out to check on the ferals at night, and Peanut using the new shelter, and I think Jill might be using it with her, and Bcee in the old shelter. And it was snowing. It was cold. It was snowing, but everybody was kind of settled. And got up early because I had to reset the timer. That Peanut's new shelter, you can it doesn't stay on all the time. You have to set it maximum 8 hours. So I got up at 8. So I saw them at midnight, set the timer for 8 hours, and then I got up at like 7:30, and I'd got up anyway. And when I went out to reset the timer, Peanut and Jill were hungry, and they wanted breakfast. So I said, okay, I'm up. Why don't you just have breakfast? I gave them wet food, gave Peanut medication or antibiotic. Bcee was nicely settled in her shelter, in the old one, in the shed. And then Peanut ate and went back into her shelter. And I think I saw Jill wandering around in the backyard, but she must have gone back in the shelter by now. It's getting colder and it's windy. So I just lay in bed. I was just like, just spent time, gave these guys treats. And the boys were cuddled with me very nicely. And they're also watching birdies for a little while from that perch. They're not using the new perches, but that's fine. I prefer them to be on the bed with me. So that's what's been happening. And I'm now planning on getting up, feeding the inside kids. Outside kids have already been fed wet food. Feeding the inside kids and working on journal entries. and then I'll go for my own brunch, which these days, Sunday brunch is wings and Caesars at the nearby bar restaurant. Wings and Caesars, they have specials on Sundays, so that'll be my brunch. And then come back and work on editing and posting the latest podcast. And the big news, it's the countdown is only one more day till I can gamble. It's like today's Sunday. Tomorrow I've got to take the mini in the morning, some work, and then tomorrow night at midnight I could gamble, But I'll wait till Tuesday. And the local casino, the one that my van is at, will close at midnight anyway. So I'll have to go to another city like Sarnia or Windsor. But we'll see. Probably I'll go on Tuesday. But we're very, very close. Very close. Anyway, that's what's happening. Bye for now. I'm not going to add too much more when I do the synopsis later because I've been taping has been going throughout the last 2 weeks, and I'll just do a quick synopsis. Still clear. It's been tough at times, but beer, wings. I mean, the biggest push is obviously the kids, the inside kids, the ferals, looking after all 6 of them, plus doing beer and Caesars and wings as a controlled burn. I've been working on some writing, been doing some reading, and the polls ramped up a bit because my neighbors were away, and my neighbor keeps an eye on me. So it was like, oh, I can party, but I didn't, So looking after the kids, beer and wings, and just going day by day. And the biggest, push is obviously the kids, but the gambling ban being lifted in a day or 2 days, and that's been a big push too. That's kept me going because I'm really, really, really looking forward to gambling again. Anyway, bye for now. That's what's happening. It's now later in the day. I had a couple of Caesars and I had some wings, and I stopped to get coal on the way back. And I'm home, and there is Lcee, nicely settled in the window perch. There is Finn wandering around on the table. There is Agita, of course, on her favorite perch here. And the ferals are hopefully all in the shed. I'll try to show them in a couple of minutes. There are some of the beds and perches I bought Black Friday. I really like them. I'm thinking of using this one as a footstool in the living room. I have a lot of cat condos in this house. And that arrived earlier today. That's a heater, an oil-filled heater that you're electric for this room because this is not heated. Those little heaters, they got fan and they're not very effective. So I'm going to try maybe that and 1 or 2 of the fans only when we use the room. Right now we're not using it, so I haven't tried it out yet. I'll try it out tomorrow. Well, I've made it week 7. It has been, strong pulls at times. The last couple of weeks, there have been some very strong pulls. I mean, that was a very deep binge, the last one, 7 weeks ago. And the biggest push is, of course, the kids, and there's been a lot of distractions, shopping, online shopping. I got the air fryer, and I've been using it. And, the can openers. And speaking of dryer, I had to have, the dryer fixed. And then I got the garage door opener, the little kind of everyday, ordinary world things that had to be done. And then I've been having a lot of wings and beers, or wings and Caesars. Sunday is Caesar and Wing Day at a nearby bar, so I've been going there. Doing some writing, but the writing kind of in some ways increased the polls because I was writing for my latest adventure. But journal entries as always. And more shopping, the Black Friday shopping, buying, the heater, and I've got a chair which is supposed to be delivered here, and the cat purchase and cat food and stuff like that. A vacuum cleaner. So all on supposedly big Black Friday savings. So that was a big kind of push and, rechanneling. And I think I said before that my neighbors were on vacation, and in a way that kind of increased the polls because, they sort of keep an eye on me. But so while they were away, there were polls, but all the rechannelings, distractions, everyday things, and of course the 6 kids, and looking after the ferals, and the Peanut starting to use the the new shelter, and my having to go out to reset it every 8 hours and stuff like that, and the other ferals using the other shelters and feeding them and looking after the kids and buying stuff for the kids and buying stuff for myself. We made it, and the news is one more day, and I can start gambling again. Just one more day. So not tomorrow, the day after. And tomorrow I gotta get the car fixed. Some the check engine light is on. So that's the thing for the day, and go for lunch, and then so on Tuesday I will probably be going to a casino. But we'll see. I think I need it. I need the rechanneling because it's been tough. But I made it. So that's all I have to say. I don't really have too much more to add. So from the 7 of us. So we've got one of the boys there, and I think this is Finn. One of the boys there, and I think this is Lcee. Agita here. There's Bcee. There's Bcee running. But come to eat. I'll put some more wet food for you, sweetie, in a second. So we got Bcee there. We've got Peanut in her shelter with the fancy heating pad and everything. I think I've got it on 7, and I set it for 8 hours, so it'll be on for a while. But I will reset it. And we got Peanut in there, and Jill must have gone under the deck or into the bush there. She always runs when I come out, even though I only come out to check on them or to feed them. And for myself, of course, Nuttiest, Craziest Professor, etc. So we got one of the boys there, and I think that this one is Finn. One of the boys there, and I think this is Lcee, but it could be the other way around. Agita here. We just saw Bcee on the deck, and we saw Peanut in the shelter, in the shed. From Agita, Finn, I think, Lcee, I think, the camera-shy Jill, who is there, I saw her a little while ago, and myself, craziest, nuttiest, most fucked up professor that ever walked the face of this earth, See you next podcast. Bye for now. Okay, there's Jill. She just came running out of the little bit of bonus footage here at a little space. So we've got Jill just came running out, and we've got Bcee in there, and we've got Peanut in her new shelter. I'm going to feed you guys in just a minute, sweethearts. We just saw Jill running under the deck, and we saw Bcee and Peanut in their shelters in the shed. We've got, I think that's Finn there, that's Agita there, Lcee there, but I could have them mixed up. So from the 7 of us, from Agita, Lcee, Finn, Peanut, Bcee, Jill, and myself, craziest, nuttiest, most fucked up professor ever walked the face of the earth. Bye for now. See you next podcast.